You know what's wild? Surprised. Half the facts we grew up believing are as fake as my gym attendance record. From sugar turning kids into little tornadoes to Vikings rocking horned helmets. Today, we're busting 13 myths you've probably repeated with confidence at some point. Let's dive in before you accidentally remember that goldfish have no memory. Ever been scolded for cracking your knuckles? Annoyed. Relax. The sound isn't your joint screaming in pain. It's just gas bubbles popping in your joint fluid. One scientist even cracked only one hand's knuckles for 60 years and never developed arthritis in that hand. A larger study confirmed no arthritis difference between habitual knuckle crackers and non-crackers. So while the noise might annoy everyone else, your joints don't care. Just maybe don't do it during a job interview.
Bulls don't rage at red.
They're basically colorblind to it. What really sets them off is movement. If you wave a cape, they'll charge, whether it's red, blue, or covered in Hello Kitty. The red cape is just tradition, and maybe handy for hiding the gory parts of bullfighting. So the next time someone says seeing red, remind them, bulls don't. They just hate annoying, flailing humans. Good news, you are not a midnight spider buffet. The myth that you swallow 8 spiders a year in your sleep started as a joke in the 1990s and somehow became fact. In reality, spiders avoid us. We're noisy, breathing, vibrating giants. To them, your face is basically an earthquake zone. And if one did crawl on you, you'd probably wake up before it went Geronimo into your mouth. So sleep easy. The only thing you're swallowing is air. And maybe your pride if you believe this. Parents swear kids go nuts after candy. Science says otherwise. Study after study shows sugar doesn't cause hyperactivity. In one experiment, parents were told their kids ate sugar even though they hadn't. And those parents still rated their kids as hyper. Translation, it's not the sugar. It's the party, the excitement, and probably the balloons. Sugar doesn't make kids bounce off walls. Kids do that all on their own. If you only used 10% of your brain, you'd probably be in a coma. Brain scans show activity across the entire brain, even when you're just lounging on the couch. The myth likely came from a misquote or bad science in the 1800s. Movies love it because unlocking the other 90% sounds cooler than your brain's already busy keeping you alive and remembering Wi-Fi passwords. Sorry, no superpowers here, just full usage all the time. Drop a penny from the Empire State Building and it'll punch a hole through someone's head? Not even close. Pennies are too light. Air resistance slows them to about 25 to 65 miles per hour. Fast enough to sing, not to kill. Mythbusters even launched pennies at ballistic speeds. Results? Disappointing. So no, a penny won't turn you into a murder suspect. But if you throw a wrench, yeah, don't do that. Lightning loves repeat business. The Empire State Building gets hit about 25 times a year. Tall, pointy, lonely objects are basically lightning magnets. A single storm can even send multiple bolts into the same spot. So while the saying makes a nice metaphor, Mother Nature didn't sign off on it. Lightning absolutely strikes twice, sometimes while you're still staring at the first hit. You've seen the costumes, right? Big burly Vikings with horned helmets? Too bad it's pure theater. Archaeologists have never found Viking battle helmets with horns. The idea came from a 19th century opera costume designer. Real Viking helmets were practical, no horns to grab onto in a fight. So, while horns look badass, they were more Broadway than battlefield. We've all heard it. Don't shave or the hair will grow back thicker. False. Shaving doesn't change hair thickness, color, or growth speed. When hair regrows, the blunt edge feels coarser, so it seems thicker. Studies going back a century confirm shaving changes nothing except how the stubble feels. If shaving really made hair thicker, bald guys would be shaving their heads non-stop. Spoiler, it doesn't work. Don't swim right after lunch. You'll cramp and drown. Science says, nope. Eating diverts some blood to your stomach, sure, but not enough to paralyze your limbs. Worst case, you'll feel a bit sluggish. Doctors say it's safe to swim right after a meal, so the biggest risk is burping underwater, not Poseidon dragging you down. Your head isn't a heat chimney. The 80% heat loss myth came from a flawed military test where soldiers were bundled up everywhere except their heads. Of course they lost heat there. In reality, you lose heat from whatever's exposed. Your head's about 10% of your surface area, so you lose about 10%. Hats are still great, but if you're naked in the snow, covering just your head won't save you. Goldfish deserve an apology. Studies show they can remember tasks for months, navigate mazes, and even recognize human faces. They know who feeds them and when. The 3-second memory myth stuck because fish swim around a lot, so it looks like they're surprised every lap. Truth is, they're smarter than you think, maybe even smarter than whoever started this rumor. Chew gum, swallow it by mistake, and suddenly you're terrified you'll be carrying it for 7 years. Reality. Gum doesn't stick to your stomach walls. It just passes through like other indigestible stuff. Doctors confirm it's out in a day or two. Unless you swallow an insane amount, it won't cause trouble. Your digestive system is a conveyor belt, not a gum warehouse.
So there you have it. 13 myths busted. Turns out, lightning does strike twice. Bulls don't care about red, and your brain is already doing more than you give it credit for. Next time someone swears by one of these facts, you can drop the truth bomb, preferably not from the top of a skyscraper. Thanks for watching, and remember, always question what everyone knows.